Okay. We're going to try something a little bit different today. We're going live here on the 777 portal. You're going to see me. I've got a couple of videos, a couple cameras set up here today. So we're going to see what happens. I've done this before, but it's been a few years. Guys, like, gotta do some English here. So why are we here? Why are we here? So today is the 777 portal. So it's the serious activation portal within this vortex. What's special about this year is it's 777. The 7th day of the 7th month, 2023, which equals, you guessed it, 7. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to pull a card. Because that's what we do on Power Days, right? We pull cards. I had sessions today. I love sessions on Power Days. I mean, I love sessions, but sessions on Power Days are that much more extraordinary, or around the Power Days, right? So it's not necessarily fully on the day, but like we have influence coming up. The strongest is on the day itself. What's so beautiful about this week, or intense, or activating, or whatever you want to call it, because it was pretty intense this week, was the full moon in Capricorn at the beginning of the week. Tuesday, I think it was. Intense. So intense. Especially if you are an anchor point person, meaning that you're somebody who's doing a work for the collective, healer, whatever you want to call that, light worker, you know, whatever term you use for that. You're an anchor point for this consciousness that is like right now, because it's not just a little bit, it's a lot. Schumann resonance has been going crazy over the last little bit, so this is a really important time, especially if you're a way shower, an anchor point person, to make sure that you are also anchored in whatever that looks like for you. Everybody's anchor is different, but make sure that you have those practices, right? I don't know what's going on here, so let's just do that. Better. I think I'm hilary.Hraefn.Porter, Sacred Starseed Healing. I'm a frequency catalyst, a full spectrum healer, Tamiana Starseed Oracle. And I hold space for people as they're transitioning into a new aspect of themselves, whether that is because you're starting in that transitioning and you're just like waking up and you're like, no thanks, I'm good, something is not right, I need to shift something, I need to change something, or you're already in an advanced state, advanced level of consciousness, and you want to go further. You're ready to peel off those layers. You're ready to remember. So 777. You might have been noticing over the last little bit some physical stuff happening, maybe some mental stuff happening, as is the case when we have these amplified states. We have eclipses, we have, oh my god, full moon, new moon, stuff happening astrologically, all these different things, Schumann resonance going nuts. We feel things physically as well. Not just spiritually, emotionally, right? Our physical body. Derek and I were having a conversation. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, quantum time. And I was talking about how my core, so rib cage down right into my hip flexors, was really tense. Like it just felt like, you know, you had a really crazy intense workout session that worked your abdomen, that worked your core, and then you just have that like gripping, which also has impacted eating, because I haven't really been feeling hunger. I've been making myself eat just because I know for myself, if I don't eat, even though I don't feel like eating, especially when I'm running so much current for other beings as well during activations, then I have other things happen because of the blood sugar going low. So I've been putting food in my body, but not really craving it, not really wanting the density or anything like that. So that's one. And so point out is the conversation Derek and I had, they're like, I'm having that too, right? Because we have these similarities. And when we talk about these things, we realize we're also not alone in these things, right? So this tension still here, still going on. But recognizing it. Dream space. Watch the messaging in the dream space. Even more activations, even more messaging happening within the dream space world. And clearer dreams. So if you're not one that remembers dreams, maybe you're remembering them now. Maybe there's just pinpoints of clarity that are coming through with those right now, right? Waking up at night more and for longer periods. So I woke up a couple nights ago, like 2 a.m. It was fun. Usually I wake up and then I'm like, oh, I can go back to sleep, and I just lay there and it's good. Half an hour later, I'm still, oh my goodness, I can't go back to sleep. Ended up reading for about an hour and a half, which isn't normal for me. I don't usually turn on lights and stuff at that time. But the moon was like, you need to open the blinds and you need to just bathe in this and then be in this. So I did that for a bit. And then they're like, hey, I just want the blinds open. I just want to be able to see you. I was like, okay, sounds good. And when we are transmitting so much more current through us, we might crave a lot more sugar because the energy that comes with that. Lean away from the synthetic sugars. So more into fruit, because that's also going to be moistening for your nervous system, because it gets heated. It gets really, really heated. Dates, right? Dried fruit, things like that. Yeah. So you can see a lovely, if you're watching this on Instagram, head on over to the Cosmic Messenger, the _Cosmic_Messenger. He did a wonderful post, and so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that he'd posted in regards to this activation. So it's a DNA activation portal. What that means is it's taking our DNA, the strands, and it's activating things that weren't activated before. Okay? And part of this comes from the extra oomph from the summer solstice. So there is an astral link, an astral gateway happening. It's rare, and it's happening between the summer solstice and at this point, with the culmination of that solstice energy. So think back to what was happening for the solstice for you a couple of weeks ago. That might be amplified. It's likely going to be amplified now. So just keep an eye on that and be like, oh yeah, that's right. This was intense for me then, or this was up for me at that point in time. And so it might be coming up again for you now, and even more amplified and more up and out, right? Which is the energy of the summer solstice. Up and out. Right? So 12-strand DNA complex, so some of that's being activated, right? It's being turned on. This will look different for everyone. So even as I'm talking about these things that I'm feeling physically, it's going to be different, or it can be different for everyone, but there's often similarities. So different for everyone. Are you somebody that's doing the conscious metaphysical work, right? Then you're going to feel more activation because you're already up there, and it's not you're not having to learn things to get up there, because you've already done a whole bunch of work to learn those things to get up there. Now, I'm going to put this caveat in again. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no good, there's no bad, none of that stuff. Yeah? With this, it's just where you are. So if you've been doing the metaphysical work, you already kind of have the skills, the key codes, some of them, it's like having a conversation, and you understand a lot more of the dialogue because you've already been in it. Then you're going to feel it a lot more. You're going to have more activations, more higher level activations. If you're just starting out, you're going to be given more of the blueprints to activate now, right? As you're expanding. So you have a little bit of dialogue, okay. You're going to be given these blueprints so that you can go in, you can look at those blueprints. So as you continue to expand your consciousness, you're going to have these blueprints to go back to, right? Basically, you're getting blueprints put into your library, into your bank. So they'll be easier to access and won't be as challenging to get into those things as they come up for you as you're doing the multidimensional, metaphysical, spiritual, energetic, living work. Yeah? What if you're completely unconscious still? Okay, yeah. Because we have the spectrum. We have the people that are completely unconscious, right? And they're going through the daily motions, 100%. They're the people that are starting the work, and then we have people that have been doing the work for a long time and are advanced. You will never hear me say, I shouldn't say never, I never intend to say, see, I said never again. I'm complete. I am done. I never have to do any more work. We're in the human experience. there's always more work. It just becomes different as we move into the finer and finer and finer frequencies. So this to this just keeps going, right? So the beginning, or the completely unconscious, to the beginning, to the awakening, we just keep awakening. Expanding. So if you're unconscious, what's it going to do is it's going to put the pieces into your subconscious to be accessed when it's actually ready. So you're not necessarily going to be woken up right now, but you're going to have the stuff put in your subconscious. So as you start to wake up, or if you start to wake up if you're unconscious, then you're going to start to go, oh, okay, there's that blueprint. Like they'll then be unlocked. Right? So it's put into your subconscious. Let's say that's a storage locker, and as you do the work, or as you become conscious, you will start to open up that door, the key to the door, and then you'll be able to pull the blueprints out. Whereas if you're just starting out, the blueprints are already accessible as you get to those levels. Yeah? This is also a time, so 12-strand DNA. Where do we get our 12-strand DNA from? Mother, father, binding together, creates the pieces. For us to grow. So what does that mean? That means within our bloodlines, there's patterns, there's programming, there's circuitry, there's messages. Those are going to come up. Yeah, this is a ripe time for those to come up. Also think about that tension that I was talking about. It makes sense around the abdomen area. 2 reasons. Probably more, but we're going to talk about 2. 1, the kidneys. The kidneys are the ancestral wisdom, the ancestral knowledge, the ancestral space. Oh, there's actually more. I got another one. That ancestral timeline. That's where the messaging lives. We have our sacral chakra, plane of existence, consciousness, and our root, both planes that are very focused on where we come from, the donation from our parents. And the third one is our digestion. That's all digestion space. And it's not just about digesting our physical experience, it's about digesting our emotional body, our etheric body, our energetic body, our spiritual body, and the experiences of actual food and the experiences that we actually interact with people. Yeah? Yeah. So it makes sense that there's that stuff going on there because we have this 12-strand DNA shift, awakening, unlocking happening. So you might notice these patterns coming up. Maybe you do something, you're like, oh, that wasn't me. Oh, but that was so my mom. That was so my dad. Huh, yeah. And you might go, oh, no, thank you. And they often come up so we can look at them. So we go, oh, that's that patterning. And when we do the work, when those patterns come up, we are healing the timelines for them as well. Okay, 777, power of 3, or spirit to the power of 3, okay? So 7 is all about universal wisdom. And having faith in what's happening. Having belief in what's happening. And what do we need when we're having faith? That everything is manifesting the way it needs to be happening. And having trust in the process. We need to surrender. Which is kind of an interesting thing, because to surrender, we need to trust. To trust, we need to surrender. And this messaging in the last couple of weeks has been so powerful in my own life of surrender, relax, no control. Like, don't be like, I have to control this. And also here at the Star Temple, which is who you see behind me right now, that's all of that, just being in belief. It's all good. Releasing that fear. Okay? And through this, we are able to learn. And through these experiences that we're having, that we're trusting into, we learn and we grow. The other message from this, the 777, is to have faith and believe and to keep doing what you're doing in the work that you're doing. Keep it up. I know it's hard. It's called work. I used to shy away from the word work for the longest time when I talked about doing the work because I was like, but it's not work, it's ease. No, it's work. straight up. And there's moments of ease and beauty within that ease, and awe and joy and gloriousness and tears and fracturing and then re-putting back together and then feeling whole and complete and then having doubt. Like it's that whole journey. But in the end, it's beautiful. This is also the number for spiritual rebels, right? Those people that speak and act authentically, not just based on the status quo, not based on just what the religious higher-ups have to say, not what other people say in our lives, but the ones that are like, yeah, actually, this is what it is. So what messaging has been coming through you that you're like, no, that can't be right. That's not what I've been taught. But it feels right. That feels like truth to me. When I was, as I've been becoming more and more embodied within Sacred Heart Tamiana, and more transmissions come through, and the more I surrender and trust that these are the transmissions that are supposed to come through, the more information I receive. And so when the Sacred Heart, when Mother Mary Magdalene came through and said, okay, here you go, advanced chakra consciousness. They're fractal within each other. It's like, but that's not what I've always been taught. Foundational chakras are fractal within each other, root to crown. Each is within each. It goes back to... No. Because it wasn't what I was taught. It wasn't what I was told was reality. And then having trust and surrender in this information. And that's what it can be like to be a spiritual rebel. Of, I don't dress this way. I don't act that way, right? I wear jeans sometimes. I eat meat sometimes. It doesn't mean I'm not spiritual. Then when we have these thoughts that are advanced, or what the next projection is, what the next integration is for this next level, because we're going through a mass spiritual expansion, cleansing, transmutation, integration, clearing, coming back to our authentic space, all of those things, right? This is happening. And it feels like we've been doing the work all year. Every time we're like, oh, what's going on now? It's the eclipses, it's the full moon, it's the new moon, it's the solstice, it's the equinox, it's the portals. It just feels like, but in each of these, there has been these mass shiftings happening. So that's why it feels so intense right now, because these layers these are like huge band-aids being ripped off, huge tensor bandages being removed from our physical, spiritual, energetic structures. Yeah. The other key right now is living from the heart. Living from the heart. Now, when we live from the heart, it can be challenging, because then there's the people that reach out of their fear state. You're living from the heart, and it doesn't mean it's all love and light. That's a whole nother thing. Living from the heart is about truth. Truth isn't always pretty. Truth isn't always light. But truth is always love. But then you get the people that are coming from a place of fear, that can lash out, that can have a reaction, because they're processing their own fear, and fear and love are, opposite vibrational frequencies here. Yeah. The beauty, though, when you live from the heart, so yeah, that can happen. That can happen. You can have people coming in out of their fear, is you also inspire other people to live that way. When you live authentically and people see that there's this is me, they're like, oh, I can be me too, because there's a parallel between how we are and how other people are. And they see this, like I see this so much in sessions, these themes that come through with people that don't even know each other. And then there's these themes like, I don't want to co-sleep anymore. I need my own space. And then it's like, yeah, well, you're not the only one. There's these themes that come up. There's these, it's crazy. Even like physical themes, emotional themes, spiritual themes, all these things. Yeah. And so when we are this, and we're able to express this, and we're able to be in that boundary space of ourselves, it inspires other people to be so as well. Now, if you get the haters coming at you because you're expressing all this love, you're living from this heart-centered space, react with compassion. Not even react, just be with compassion, right? Don't enter the battles of, I'm better, you're better, well, I win, you win. No. This is the space, when you come from that centered space, this is your space and this is my space. I'm not trying to change you. And sometimes love also equals walking away. So this is kind of trippy. On one video, I'm the right way, like when I do this, because this is actually on my left, but on the other video it shows on the right. It's kind of tripping me out. Anyways, it's kind of how things feel, right? Fractal and open. Okay, so that's a little bit about the 777. This deck wanted to come with me today, so I said, okay, come on down. Come with me to the Star Temple. If you haven't used this deck, it's the White Light Oracle. I gotta make sure both videos get it. Yeah, love this Oracle deck. I do like it because it's not just all fluff. What I mean by that is there are some decks that are beautiful, and sometimes we lean into them because they have the support. And this deck has a lot of that support and that beauty. I mean, it's the White Light Oracle, right? But then there's some also ones that are like, hey, you got to do the work. Here's the work you got to do, or this isn't going to be comfortable, right? So it's not all just petting. It actually has some work in it, plus some just, this feels good, right? This one I will be diving into the information book that comes with it, the guidance book. Never feel wrong about consulting the book. There's three, I don't know. There's a couple pieces that come when you're reading your oracle or doing your tarot, right? There's your intuitive hits, what comes through when it comes through, which is the wisdom, right? And then there's, I guess it's two. Then there's the book that has other wisdoms that they can also share, and then you take what feels like truth for you. Because there's moments where you're like, or you've read the same card 15 times, and you're like, I've never seen this in that card before. What? Has this always been here? Because in those other times you read it, you didn't need that messaging at that time. So I pulled this out, and now I'm like, I just can't. I just want to play with it. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So when I grabbed the deck from home, so I used this deck on the full moon and was like, hey, the full moon was intense. It was really intense. Having a big upheaval. It was huge illumination for some things. And my friend says to me, oh, it's the full moon energy. I was like, when's the full moon? She's like, it's right now. It's like, oh, it makes so much sense. So I sat with some cards and did some things to, help get some clarity. And this card came out. And so today when I grabbed the deck from home, I was like, oh, I'm going to fold you into the deck. And I remember the card saying, oh, you're going to need me anyways. And I was like, oh, no, we'll do the pull, see what comes through. Same card, which makes sense right now. And you'll know why in a minute. Okay, see? Yeshi Sogal. Right? Okay, so this beautiful card. So this is number 33. I always look at the numbers as well because they can have power. 6, which is the heart. 3 plus 3, 6, right? And so this one's Yeshi Sogal, and it's 333. Yeah? Yeshi Sogal 333, and 333 is 9. And 9 is we're coming to the end of a cycle. So I'm going to read this little blurb, which is so interesting. You shall overcome all obstacles. Success is imminent, so stay connected to your path no matter what and continue to apply yourself. Allow your spiritual path to support you in all areas of your life. Live by your spiritual beliefs. What were we just talking about? Seek out the support of your spiritual brothers and sisters for help when needed, but also trust that you are intimately and directly connected to the powerful divine light within. Your authenticity. There can be a dramatic healing breakthrough when you rely upon your spiritual connection. So it's easy to get disconnected. Life can get in the way, or we get so down, or the energy gets so dense, or our patterns pop up and we withhold ourselves, or we sabotage ourselves, or there's past life stuff, or there's parallel universe stuff, or there's, and we don't connect in, and then we become disconnected, Yeah. So the one thing I really loved about this is her presence in a reading indicates that a boldness of spirit and willingness to engage your challenges will create the path to inevitable success. And what were we talking about? I love these correlations of learning through life. And there's challenges in life. And learning through life gets us to our authentic space. We could sit there and just have everything brought to us, right? But we're not learning when that happens. I get hella bored too. She represents our ability to generate the spiritual power necessary to accomplish what needs to manifest for the greatest good. Call upon your spirit guides and the other energies for assistance. Are you having a challenge connecting in? Are you feeling such dense energy that you need somebody to support you? I ended up reaching out to this beautiful being that I know in Vancouver, Nora Wolf. She does the foundation of everything. I highly recommend her sessions. And was like, I need some support. I need some love. I need some guidance. I need what you have. Because also, it's good to have our connection or our collection, our vessel of these are the healers I go to. These are the light workers I go to. These are the people, body workers that I go to. It doesn't matter. These are the people that can offer me guidance in different areas of my life, and having different people for not necessarily different things, but when something comes up, we're like, this is the being I need. And what I love about Nora's work is it goes into the other layers. It's out of the mental mind. It's connecting into your own innate wisdom, but it goes beyond just this physical 3D here plane. It's parallel worlds. It's parallel universes. But it's based on what's coming with you. It actually reminds me a bit of what's that called? It's that hypnosis where you go into past life stuff or future life stuff, but you go down and then it asks you, and where do you want to go? And then, anyways, it reminds me of that. I cannot remember what that's called right now. But it reminds me of that, but without you're not explaining and talking through things. You're literally asked questions, and then these things are messaged out through your body. It's powerful stuff. So reach out to beings that can support you. And if you don't know somebody that can support you, start doing the research or reach out to somebody that you're like, do you know somebody that can support this? Right? Tiger skin is depicted in sacred iconography to represent fearless enlightenment that cuts through all obstacles. It's the indomitable will that conquers negativities because it refuses to be overcome. Moving through the world on a sacred tiger mount. The tiger protects us, right? Yeshi Sogal protects us as we are traversing these spaces. Pasito ko kainasi. These spiritual spaces, these spaces across, over, through, these inner worlds, these outer worlds, the multiverse around us, within us. She's also, Sogal is also about baby steps, but not even baby steps, it's taking steps. So if you're like, yeah, but I need to be from there to here, or from here to there. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be one giant step. Just start taking the steps. If it feels onerous, big, too much, blah, 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 yeah, and just like, what's one step you can take? One step, and start there. 2 cameras. Hello. Okay. So welcome to the portal today. Remember, there's an overflux. Overflux? I'm just gonna make up some words. An overflux of energy that comes up into it. Then there's the peak, and then we're coming down. So at the end, at midnight tonight, it's not just like, I'm done, constructs of time that we've created and all. This stuff does not work that way. So expect at least a couple of days, but I find it's usually at least a week of like more amplified, and then another week of like, okay, here we go. Starting to, like, it's peaks, starts to go down, but that week period is still kind of intense, and then it starts to be like, oh, got this. And then we move into the 8-8 portal, so it's the thing. Okay. So much love and stardust to you. Wishing you well and brilliance. And just that like connection into that knowing aspect piece of self that is you, of love. Okay, so much love and Stardust, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.